Marion, since you requested, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'd first like to thank the Board of Finance. You have a very, very difficult job, and you really have put in an incredible amount of time. There are a number of meetings that go on. The Board of Education meets with the subcommittees to discuss the budget, and we also meet with the full board, and we also put on a number of presentations for the Board of Finance as well as the town and the PTAs. One of the things that I would ask in the future down the road, for people who have, who say things without really having a great deal of knowledge of what we do, please take a couple hours and come to one of our meetings. It would give you a much better understanding of what the Board of Finance does, as well as the Board of Education. The next thing I would like to say is, I could tell you that we have absolutely outstanding teachers. We have outstanding staff, custodians, secretaries, tutors, paraprofessionals. People who work for the Seymour School District do a fine job, and they love their work, and they are here early and they leave late. And I know that because I'm in the schools and I see them do that. So that was the first thing I wanted to address. In regards to money for professional development, money for textbooks, the first thing I'd like to tell you is, you can look up any research, the absolute most important thing to put in front of a student is a quality teacher. A quality teacher increases student achievement, and that's why professional development is critical in any teacher budget, because a well-trained teacher translates to improved student learning. And I can tell you that the $35,000 we have in our budget is nothing. We have a town very close to us that spends $180,000 on training their teachers. Our teachers and our administrators are our most valuable assets. We are a service organization, and we need to put qualified, well-trained people and support our teachers and administrators in front of our children. And it does translate to improve student learning. In regards to line items with balances in them, the Board of Education froze their line items back in December. We normally, at the beginning of the year, spend the money that we need that's immediate, and then we freeze our line items, and we wait until around this time of year to then spend them. Because what happens is the Board of Education does not have a contingency fund, and the Board of Education does not have a fund balance to go to. And we have not gone back to the town in years and years and years, forever asking for more money. So that is why we need to hold our money until the end of the year to know that we didn't have an emergency where a roof leaked, or we didn't have legal costs, or we didn't have a special ed student that moved into the district that needed an outplacement, because you can't budget for those kinds of things. And that's why we do hold our textbook line item until the end of the year. Someone had even said, people want to know how we paid for the pool, because we had a problem with our pool. Well, I can tell you what happens is at the end of the year, we might not have money to buy X amount of textbooks or a smart board or computers. So at the end, it does come out where that's where the money spent, is because we had something that we weren't able to plan for. Let's see. And someone had mentioned that we've had a reduction in staff, we've had a reduction in students, and how come we don't have a reduction in staff? I can tell you, as soon as we knew that Oxford was exiting, the Board of Ed and the administration made a plan where we exited 33% of our high school staff, and approximately 33% of our students left also. We did that over time. We did that through retirements and through attrition, so that we did not hurt people. Our focus, when we develop our budgets, it always relates directly to students and to save the jobs of our very valued employees. In regards to 3 superintendents at central office, I've said this to some of you, so I know I'm going to be repeating myself. I can assure you, I am the only superintendent at central office. In regards to the other positions, for those of you who have been in Seymour for a while, you know that Mildred Newman was the business manager for 30 years. Donald Flood was the business manager for approximately another 10 years. And Rick Belden has been the business manager for approximately 12 years. So we have 50 years of having a business manager position at central office. So when people say those are new positions, they are absolutely not. And in regards to the assistant superintendent, we've had Jean Coppola, we've had Donna Osborne, we've had Tom Petruni, we've had Marianne Mascolo, and now we have Christine Syriac. So just to put that to rest, there are not 3 superintendents at central office. And in regards to Mr. Belden's title, and only Mr. Belden could do this, is for those of you who don't know, when you're non-certified, you get paid into the MRF retirement system, and that's Municipal Employees Retirement Fund, and the board pays that along with Social Security. When Mr. Belden changed his certification to an 092, thus becoming an assistant superintendent, he now pays his own retirement, and the board is 14% less of his salary that they were paying. So not only did he increase his education and value to the district, he also saved the district money in the process.
Marianne, almost done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to be, I know there's other people who'd like to speak, but
Yeah, let her answer the question.
Come down around there.
Okay. I could finish. There's 3 more questions.
3 more questions? Okay, why don't you keep going, and if there's 3 more points you'd like to make.
In regards to our budget, much of what we do is mandated by the federal and the state government. We need to follow the law. And much in regards to funding, the funds that we've asked for, everybody has increases in their heat. Everyone has increases in their electricity. And the Board of Education also has increases. So that money, I am asking you to fund the level service budget. And I'm also asking you to fund the town's budget too. We are a community and we work well together, and we have to value our children. In regards to raises, our teachers did not take raises. Our nurses did not take raises. Some of our contract people, our director of security, our technicians did not take raises. Our paraprofessionals did not get a raise this year. This is the 2nd year I've given my raise back, and my central office staff has also given their raises back. And I can tell you that my other employees know that the expectation of this Board of Education will expect zeros from our other unions, because we are right in negotiations with them this year. So the Board of Education has done their part in regard to giving zeros, and those are hard zeros. And I just want to reiterate, for the past 7 years, the Board of Education has not once received their budget requests. And we have not received our level services budget 6 out of the 7 years that have gone by. And we provide an excellent education for our students because we have reallocated and we have taken cost-saving measures for our energy. We do everything possible to keep the budget as low as possible. But after 7 years of doing that, it begins to affect staff and teachers, and it will be hurtful to our children. And I can assure you, Seymour is an incredible district. We do a wonderful job, and our teachers and our staff are outstanding, so please help them support the children of our district.
Marianne, thank you. Before we step away from the microphone, did you answer the prior speaker's comment about the reforecasting?
Oh,
Rick, would you like to take that quickly?
Thank you. Rick Belden, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations. The prior speaker, referring to page 3 of 35 of the budget book, does recite the numbers correctly. However, there is information I think that would be helpful for the group. The Board of Education, prior to preparing our budget, well, after preparing our budget for the 2009-2010 school year, the federal government gave us ARA funds. Those funds are spread over a 2-year time period, and what has happened is those funds were provided directly to the Board of Education and deducted from the education cost sharing grant that typically goes down to the town as part of the general fund. So if you look on page 3 and look up above in the town revenues and see state education funding and tuition revenue, you'll see that there's a negative variance there of $1,000,000 $389, $248,000. Doug Thomas has forecast that that money's not going to come in this year. He's absolutely correct. The ECS funds that we budgeted for this year are coming directly to the Board of Education through our grant process. And what that means is the Board of Education, in order to keep the town budget whole and net zero, is having $1.4 million less spent out of our budget. We have allocated teacher salaries against those funds, and we are going to be returning the $1.4 million to the town from our budget, and then the bottom line effect is basically zero on the town.